Hello everyone, it's your girl Tinuade of Ishi Couture. You're welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're most welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for sticking by. In today's tutorial, I'll be taking you through on how to cut this beautiful trendy bubu dress. So if this sounds like what you're interested in, let's jump right into the tutorial. So these are the fabrics I'll be making use of. I'll be making use of the plain for the main dress, while the pattern one will be for the neck design. Yes, so I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into four, and the measurement I use to fold this fabric into four is my shoulder measurement. That is half of my shoulder measurement plus 6 inches. You can make use of between 5 to 8 inches, but in this tutorial I made use of 6 inches plus my sleeve length. I'll take that again: half of your shoulder measurement plus 6 inches plus your sleeve length. So that's what I put on fold into four. That is what I have on the table. So I'll go ahead now and mark out my starting line. So for instance, let's say half of my shoulder measurement plus 6 inches plus my sleeve length is 20. So from my center fold there, yes, from that point to the end of the fabric there, I should have 20 inches. Okay, so the fact that I have 4 folds here shows that I'll be cutting the front and the back piece together. So the first thing to do is to mark my neck width of 3 inches. Yes, I'll be marking my back neck width of 3 inches. I'll go ahead and mark half of my shoulder measurement plus 1 inch. Please take note of that: half of my shoulder measurement plus 1 inch. So the first thing I took was my neck width plus half of my shoulder measurement plus 1 inch. Yes, add 1 inch to your shoulder measurement. So the next thing is to mark out the 6 inches. Remember, we added 6 inches to the measurements we used to put the fabric on fold. Yes, whatever it is that you had at that part, make sure you mark it out. So in my case, I mark out 6 inches. Then I further went ahead to mark out my sleeve length. So I'm going to go over my markings again. I have my neck width of 3 inches plus half of my shoulder measurement plus 1 inch plus 6 inches, then plus my sleeve length. So those are the markings that I have at the starting line there. So I'll go ahead now and mark out my neck depth. Remember, I'm using the back neck measurement to cut out for both front and back, so I'll just use one for my back neck depth. So on this part where I have my sleeve length marking, I'll go down by 9 inches. You can do between 9 to 12 inches depending on the person's size. So I'll go ahead and mark 9 inches there. So in front of that marking, on that my 9-inch mark, I'll divide my hip measurement into 4. Then I will impute my measurements, and that is the measurement I'll be taking down. Yes, your hip measurement divided by 4 is what you are going to mark horizontally on that 9 inches mark you made. So this is me imputing quarter of my hip measurements plus 6 inches. Yes, you can add between 4 to 8 inches depending on how big you want it, but in my case I made use of 6 inches. So quarter of my hip measurement plus 6 inches, then I drew that line up to connect to that 9-inch mark that I made, so that we can create a smooth curve there. So I'll go ahead and take that same measurement down the length of the dress. So you can actually come out more on at the hem of the dress if you so desire. So I'll go ahead now and connect my dots together, and this is what I have. There are so many variations of this style, but this particular one that I'm recreating has this kind of curl look at the two sides of the dress. So that's what I'm trying to do. But if you want yours straight, you can just go ahead and follow that straight line. It will still come out nice, but with a different look. I attached the picture of how it will look if you follow the straight line too. So what I did was to take the measurement from the shoulder of where I want the curl to start from. So after getting the measurements, I came out and I gave it that curvy shape. So in case you want yours to be more pronounced, the curl effect at the two sides to be more pronounced, make sure to add more curve at that side. So I'll go ahead now and cut following the markings that I had already made. So at this slip part, I added 1 inch for folding. Now I have my front and my back piece, and I will then go ahead and separate the front and the back pieces so that I can have only my front piece. So this is my front piece on the table. The next thing I'm going to do now is to alter the front neckline, and I'll start off by measuring 10 inches. Yes, you can do between 8 to 10 inches. So from the shoulder line, I marked 9 inches. Then on that my 9 inches mark, I measured 1.5 inch straight down to the length of the gown, and back to my 9 inches mark, I connected it to the neck width to have this kind of V-like shape. So I'll go ahead and connect the dots together. So this is how her front is going to look like. So I'll go ahead now and cut out so as to have two separate pieces. So we are done with the cutting process. Before we start the sewing process, please, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so now. It really means a lot to me. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can help me push the video to those that might need it. And don't forget to turn on your notification. That's the bell icon there, so that you'll be notified when I upload new tutorial. Thank you. The first thing I'm going to be doing is to place the front to the back piece just the way you see me do, and join at the shoulder part with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and take to my sewing machine to join the front piece to the back piece with 1/2 inch. Then I'll come back and show us how it looks. This is it. I've joined my front piece to the back piece, and this is what I have. I joined with 1/2 inch, and you can see the way the neck parts is sitting pretty. You can see the V shape look that it has. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take my measurement tape and measure from one end of the front piece across the neck, then to the other side of the front. This is to enable me know the length of pattern fabric that I'm going to cut out. So when I got the value, I went ahead to cut my pattern fabric using the length that I got by 4.5 inches. Yes, so whatever your answer is will be the length, then by 4.5. So on fold, it will give me 2 1/4, and I'm going to use 1/2 inch to join into the front piece. So before I take to my sewing machine to stitch, I'll first of all secure with pin from one side of the front across the neck to the other side of the front, so that we can see how it is before I stitch down. So this is how it looks after securing with pins. I've not stitched it down here, so you can see the way I pin it all around from one side of the front across the neck to the other side of the front. So I'll take my sewing machine now and stitch with 1/2 inch, then show us what next to do. So this is what we have. You can see how beautiful it's looking already, and we are not yet done. I've not even given it a press. You can see the way it's looking so beautiful. You see the neck parts, you see the v-like look that we cut out during the cutting process. You can see the way it's looking. You see everything is laying so well. Yes, and I've also gone ahead to fold the sleeve parts. So what I'm going to do next now is to create that Agbada kind of design around the shoulder. And how we are going to achieve that is to measure 8 inches. Yes, just place your tape like that from the sleeve part, measure 8 inches. Remember, we left 6 inches. Yes, the 6 inches is for the purpose of that design. So what you are going to do is to divide it into 2. Yes, 6 divided by 2 will give me 3. So from that sleeve part, measure 8 inches, then divide whatever it is that you added to your shoulder by 2, then add it. So in my case, this 6 inches divided by 2 will give me 3. So I added the 3 from the 8 inches mark that I made. Please follow carefully at this point. Pinch the 3 inches mark up, secure the 8 inches mark with one of your fingers and pin at that point. Yes, you pin at that 8 inches mark. I think that's the best way I can explain it. Just follow carefully, you will get it. It's very easy. This is just to create the Agbada design around the shoulder parts. So I'll repeat the same process to the other side of the sleeve, then show us how it looks. Please, if you don't understand, just rewind the video and watch it again. You will get it. After securing the 2 sides with pin, so what I'm going to do is to take to my sewing machine and stitch down with like 1/2 inch. Yes, I'll just stitch that part that I pinned with 1/2 inch on both sides. Then I will show us how it looks. So this is it. You can see the way it's looking after stitching that shoulder part with 1/2 inch. You can see the way it is. You see the way it's looking. It's sitting so well. And what I'm going to do next now is to shapen the bubu with 1/2 inch on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and shapen it with 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'll do that and show us how it looks. So this is what we have, and the next thing I did was to make a belt from the pieces I cut off while cutting the fabric, and the width of the belt is like 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is to measure out my shoulder to waist, that is my half length. So I'll go ahead and place my tape on my shoulder and measure my half length. Yes, so I'll go ahead and mark it. So after marking my half, I'll make sure that the center part is well positioned. I mean the band laying on each other properly, so that I'll be able to get the midpoint of that part, because I'm going to impute 1/4 of my waist measurements on that line. Yes, so this is me dividing that band into 2, because that's as our center point. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 1/4 of my waist measurements on that line. So this is me imputing 1/4 of my waist measurements on that my half length. So I'm going to attach the belt like so, just the way you see me do. Be sure not to stitch it to the back, please. So you attach it just the way you see me do. So this is what is going to give that snatched effect around the waist parts. So after attaching the belt, I'll go ahead and fix my press button. Yes, so it is the press button that holds the front in place. Yes, so I'm going to attach my press button starting from where the V V shape starts from the neck parts. So I'll mark 4 inches interval and take it down. So our bubu is almost ready, so I'll go ahead now and finish it up, give it a good press, then hang it on the mannequin so that we can see the finished look. So thank you for watching, thank you for staying tuned. It's good having you here, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload new tutorial. So thank you for staying tuned. See you in my next video. Bye.